Again. Now, I'm still with the chairperson of the Defense Committee, that is Nelson Koech. And Chairman, of course, we listened to a very decorated curriculum vitae or CV there of the General. Maybe from your experience while chairing that committee, you can describe to us how it is working with him, knowing that the military, I mean, there are a lot of activities that are going there. There are top security concerns. But then, humanly speaking, how is it like working with the Defense Forces?
I started working with General Ogolla first when I was a member of the Committee of Defense in last Parliament, which was 2017 to 2022. And he was the VCDF then. So as a VCDF, you come before Parliament to defend budget. And he's an extremely professional, consummate professional. He understands, like the attributes that you read here. Very quiet person, yet firm. And he's very disciplined officer, general. You saw even discipline to the extent of his physique. He used to do a lot of exercise. But coming to Parliament, he's very professional in responding to questions from members. And now transitioning, fast forward when I came in 2022 again, and with the favor of being the chairman, I even interacted with him more. The last time that I spoke with General Ogolla was yesterday. This morning, our CS, Honorable Duale, was to appear before my committee to answer certain questions in regards to what had happened in Lanet Barracks, a dispute between some population in Tarbo constituency and the military. And we spoke last night, and he told me that he was going for this mission in the North Rift, and we will talk today. Generally, relating with him has been the easiest, one of the easiest generals to work with. Always answers his calls, always responds to messages. I will say it's been extremely easy working with General Ogolla. Sometimes even stepping out of his general, so to say, to handle issues that ordinarily his officers will have done it. I remember sometimes when I'm confronted with questions on the floor of the House, and because I'm not from a military background, I'm just a member of Parliament who oversights the military, I will occasionally text him for responses, and he's extremely quick in making such responses and messages. And that is who General Ogolla was to us as members of Parliament.
Right.
My colleagues, I'm sure, have many more to say about General Ogolla. And something more important, Sam, to mention, is to appreciate our officers in what they go through outside there. It tells you what, I mean, today General Ogolla was simply going to psych up our officers to give them morale on the mission that they are undertaking in the North Rift. It tells you what our officers go through, and we must truly appreciate them. Then when the night comes and when many of us are driving home or walking home to go and have shelter and sleep in peace, we have our officers who are out there guarding us as we sleep.
Okay.
They go through a lot, and we must really salute them for that.
Stay with us. I have a few more questions for you. But first, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, now joins us via way of phone. Good evening, Prime Cabinet Secretary. And yes, we've seen your message, but you may want to express your thoughts this evening on this tragic demise of General Ogolla and the 9 officers.
Yes. Good evening. Today it's really a dark and sad day for Kenya. And at the very outset, let me convey my condolences to the family of General Ogolla and indeed the families of his compatriots. We have lost a very distinguished officer. He was a very humble individual, yet very deep in thought, in reflection. His demeanor was very, very honorable and elegant. And we have indeed lost a very great resource as a country. He was well grounded on several issues, not just within the context of the military aspects, but he was also very well informed on foreign relation issues. And I just remember the very sad moment, the very last moment during the salaries review, the wages review convention at Bomas just a few days ago. When we were together, little did we know that it would be the last moment we would see him alive. So once again, I just say, may his soul and those of his compatriots rest in eternal peace, and God comforts their families. Thank you.
Right. And Waziri, maybe you can talk to us, because, I mean, he sat in the highest, what you'd said, the organ of security, the National Security Council. What will the country miss in that space?
His depth, his insight. As I said, he was not just up to it in terms of his military background and training, but he was also very incisive in giving strategic thought to matters around national security, and not just internally, but also giving an overview of what is happening within the region and how Kenya should position itself in this dynamic and changing geopolitical world.
Right, and of course, Waziri, we see a lot of messages coming in from different embassies represented in the country. Maybe you can just help us understand the relationship between the military and foreign countries, and what this would mean, what has happened would mean in those relations.
Well, you see, defense, diplomacy, and security issues are all intertwined. And definitely there are various levels of engagement that a country undertakes. So we shall miss his prowess when it comes to regional military engagements in terms of sharing knowledge and ensuring that the broad peace efforts are under control. So that is something we shall definitely miss, because he was very incisive in understanding global issues, and he was definitely a befitting leader of our military.
Right. Thank you so much, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, and also the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, and condolences to you and the National Security Council. And according to the Kenya Defence Forces Act, the CDF shall be the principal advisor to the President and Cabinet Secretary for Defence on any military, operational and administrative matters within the competence of the Chief of Defence Forces, shall lawfully administer, control and manage the Defence Forces as a disciplined military force, and shall comply with any lawful direction issued by the Cabinet Secretary under the authority of the President. That is what the law provides for the position of the Chief of Defence Forces that now General Ogolla has died. Of course, that role would have to be played by someone else. And we're still here with the chairperson of the Defence Forces, the Defence Committee at the National Assembly. And you were just mentioning what it is like having to work with him. And probably you could just, as we finalize on this conversation, just highlight for us what this particular assignment in the North Rift, because previously we've had these bandit attacks, and they have been dealt with using the internal police force. But this time round, there was the request or the direction by the President to have the Defence Forces also assisting in that space. And I think it's been more than a year since that deployment. Maybe if you are to reflect on the gains that have been made and the work ahead to be done.
There are huge gains. I mean, all security agencies in a country are to provide security for its citizen, whether it's the military or or the police or any other security agency for that matter. And if you recall, even on the president's statement this night, it was a multi-agency that had been sent to this part of North Rift that has been plagued by this banditry for way too long. Part of the job of the military was to build access roads, medical camps, providing of water, providing of relief food, rehabilitation of schools. You had, when the president read the statement this evening, that several schools that had been vacated by the population were being rehabilitated by the military so that people and population can come back. And we have again normalcy for students who are in school, including at high school that the president read. I can't remember the name properly, I couldn't pronounce the name properly, but he mentioned a high school and other primary schools. So the military largely has been to bring back normalcy in those areas because it's multi-agency, the other security agencies are doing what they have to do. The military, in my understanding, more to then rehabilitate most of those schools, provide relief, provide water, which they've been doing, and to make sure that normalcy is back. If you also listen to the statement by the president, right, is that part of the job that General Ogolla did before his demise this afternoon was to visit the other camps and to see the officers that are already stationed there. You remember the president gave an order that our officers must go in there in less than 2 weeks. And I think following that order is why we have our military. There's a lot of gains. First, the fact that, you know, there is military presence there tells you a lot. There has been a lot of activity. But today I do not want to discuss about the gains and what we've not gained. I just want to use this opportunity as a tribute today to our fallen general and the other gallant soldiers that we've lost today in trying to make sure that they restore peace in that part of the country. And like I said, Sam, today, that I really wish that all those that are watching me tonight can, in respect of General Ogolla and the other officers that have perished today, just live harmoniously and peacefully. In fact, I was thinking when I was coming to this studio, I'm really struggling to see who has become rich from all this activity that is happening there, whether it is cattle theft or banditry of any nature. Who is this billionaire that has become rich for all this activity? How many soldiers must we lose? How many speeches must be read? How many statements must be made? How many visits must our leaders make so that this part of the North, for once, can have their guns silenced? I think let's be honorable. Let's give proper tribute and send-off to our gallant soldiers by making sure that there is a return to normalcy and peace. And I've said, right, it will take the leaders, and I'm not saying the political leaders only. It must take the entire leaders, religious leaders, and everybody who cares to listen, that it is high time that we abandon very old and rhetoric activities and allow peace to reign in those areas. Our military are doing exceptionally well. I must commend our officers who are out there. As a committee, we are proud of them. We are proud of our soldiers. And that is why, as a committee, we have continuously made sure that our budgetary allocation is aligned to that the president is looking for, to make sure that that part of the North Rift has peace. This has gone on for way too long, Sam, and I hope it comes to an end this night as a tribute to our fallen General Ogolla and the other officers.
Thank you so much, Nelson Koech, the chairperson of the Defense, Foreign Relations and Intelligence Committee at the National Assembly, for making time for us.